Welcome to Youngman Insights. My name is Luan in Africa. Today we're going to start a short series of conversation about what is happening within our business, Youngman Roofing and Insulation, and the greater construction business from our perspective. To kick off this episode, I'm joined by Henk van Wyk. He leads the internal region, the Gauteng region and internals for Youngman Roofing and Insulation, based out in Pretoria. Henk, welkom. Hoe gaan het?
Yeah, goed, dankie. Thanks.
Cool. So for those that don't know you, because you are known in the industry, the roofing and cladding industry, but for those that don't know you, can you share with us how you started your journey into the roofing industry?
Yeah, 100%. I've started many years, 16 years ago, I started in the industry, in the light frame steel industry, where we were doing trusses, buildings and roofing. Many years. From there, I moved up and became a branch manager at one of our competitors in the Bloemfontein region, Free State, did well in that area, and got promoted to the Cape Town branch, which was at that stage our third biggest branch. And after a couple of years of good success here, I came to Gauteng. And as time went on, I eventually came over to Youngman about September 2024.
Okay, cool. So that's interesting. So you have insights around Cape Town, Bloemfontein. Tell me, how does Gauteng compare to the other regions within the metal roofing and cladding industry?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question with an interesting answer. Coming from inland, Bloemfontein, Free State region, going to Cape Town, it was day and night. Okay. The market is different, the way people do is different. And then coming back to Gauteng, you come back to what you know.
Yeah.
So inland, Free State, Gauteng has quite a similar way of doing things in the steel industry, where Cape Town is quite different. We used to joke and talk about the Republic of Cape Town, but it is, people are working in a different way in Cape Town versus inland. One of the biggest challenges in inland is, of course, a lot more opposition, a lot more competition, a lot more people coming in with substandard stuff that the end user doesn't always know.
Yeah.
So if you stick with the name brands, you should be fine. But inland is completely different from any other region.
Okay, cool. So knowing those, I would say, nuances, what is Youngman doing differently, Pretoria or the Gauteng region doing differently to overcome those preconceived notions of materials, and what is new to the market today?
Yeah. So the good thing about Youngman Roofing is we stick to quality. We don't sell stuff that we don't trust. We test whatever we do. We test. We make sure we give good quality, put good quality products into the market. And one of the greatest things is we are customer orientated. Most of the places that I've been, you just look at the bottom line. Where with Youngman, it's all about how can we best serve our customers. And I think that's one of the great things with Youngman in this industry. Not only selling to the customer for the sake of getting an invoice,
yeah,
but selling to the customer, informing them, giving them the right technical knowledge as to what product they are getting for their money and what type of life expectancy and warranty they can get along with that.
Okay, excellent. On that topic, so you're referencing customer centricity, and what I'm getting from you is because I'm part of Youngman, we are looking at the long-term relationship of the partnership and not just a transactional relationship. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%. We want to build relationships that's mutually beneficial and that will last us a lifetime.
Okay, excellent. What's happening on site? So you do have some roofing experience, on-site experience. What do you think, or what are the challenges the roofing contractors or the developers or contractors in general face? What do you think that is within the house, specific to Gauteng?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is obviously what we call OTIF, on time in full. you need a good quality product at a good quality standard on time. And one of the biggest challenges in Gauteng, and I think everywhere, but especially in Gauteng, is the timelines for the guys to get the jobs done is tight. There's penalties, there's a lot of cost going into running a site, and if you've planned the day that you're basically going to be starting installing a roof, and you don't get your product on time, every day costs you money. And that's one of the big things that we put a huge focus on, because myself, I've installed roofs myself. I know what it feels like to be on site, to be waiting for the product, to having to pay your staff, your people every day. You've got to pay them full money. You've got a crane on site, and you've got no product. And that's why we've put a huge emphasis on trying to supply on time in full, so that our customers at the end of the day don't have to worry about, are they going to pitch, are they not going to pitch.
Okay, excellent. So leading off on that, service, systems, capability, capacity, can you share with us what Youngman has done, is doing, and what the future look like to enhance service capacity and capability here in Gauteng?
Yeah. So obviously in a fast-paced market like Gauteng, the only way that you can supply on time in full is if your systems is compliant. So what we've done over the last years, we've re-engineered our whole factory space, because the way we were doing stuff was not fast enough. Youngman has also invested huge amounts of money in stock, because stock availability at the end of the day is one big portion of that whole capability. And with the current way that we've set up our system, we can supply huge amount of tonnages per machine per day. We're running at 30% of the capacity currently. Obviously, and I've been in the industry a long time, we're already doing more than most, and we still have 70% of capacity left over. But that's all based on the system. So we've been proactive in setting up better ways to get the coil to the machines, better ways to get it to the trucks. And we are basically on a weekly, monthly basis looking at those systems and seeing what we can do to enhance that. I think we've almost doubled our staff in the factory in order to stay ahead of the market, and that's all the type of things that we are looking at in producing and fulfilling the needs.
Fantastic. So that's good to hear, because what you're effectively saying is we're putting our money where our mouth is. We're investing in capability, and we are backing ourselves for the future, because even though we're operating at 30% capacity, we're not going to make an investment knowing that we can't operate our full capacity. Tell me, Youngman has started a second shift. How has the second shift improved OTIF and all of those things? Has it helped, or is it something that you guys are still finessing? What has that introduction done to the business for service and efficiency?
Yeah, so that's one of the greatest things that we've done, because what the second shift in essence is doing is making sure everything that couldn't be done in the day's time is getting finished in time for the next day. We've started small, a flashing team and a roll forming team, but we've already discussed and approved this week to improve those teams and to get more people in. Again, it's preparing for what not only doing what's needed for tomorrow in terms of stuff that's going out, but also planning for tomorrow's production, so that we don't keep on firefighting like I'm used to in the industry, but where we get to a point where we know what we're going to be doing tomorrow, and we make sure we have set up our staff for success.
Okay, lekker man. Let's, on the topic of staff and technical ability, can you share with us what Youngman's technical abilities is? There's a lot of staff with a depth of knowledge. How is the Gauteng operations utilizing those staff for the betterment of the industry?
Thank you, Leon. Yeah. So one of the most important things in any industry is understanding the product, understanding it not only from a sales perspective, from a technical perspective. And I've always told people, when I got into roofs the first time, it takes you a couple of years to really understand roofs. Although you know the names and you know all these other things, to really understand how metal moves, how metal performs, what's the best for certain applications, that takes years. And at Youngman, we've got a lot of staff here with a lot of depth of knowledge. We've got people in our factory that's been here 25 years, 20 years, 15 years. We've got people that's really been here for a long time. Same on our sales side. Although Youngman is relatively new in the projects market in Gauteng, the company has existed for many years before that. And the sales staff knows the product. They knows the ins and outs of it. So we've got a lot of technical depth in Gauteng. We've also started to employ more people. But when we employ more people, we look at those people with technical capabilities that can serve the market with what is needed.
Cool. And then on that as well, how does the national footprint, or how does a national support each other, or how is national, i.e. Cape Town, Maitland, supporting Pretoria? Can you share with us those nuances that we might not be aware of?
Yeah, I think that's the backbone of the success of the branch. You know, if you're a lone ranger standing all alone, you've got only so much space, and you know the market. You know, today everybody wants white, tomorrow everybody wants thunderstorm. The day after that they want something else, Cape charcoal. So every single week, every single month, you know, what the requirements in the market is different. And if you only one branch here in the middle of nowhere, and you've got nobody to support you, you've got limited resources. With national, we keep a lot of stock in our Cape Town facility. We keep a lot of stock in our Southern Cape facility. We've got a facility in Port Elizabeth. We've got the facility here, and from here we also support other parts of the market. And when we all of a sudden get a big requirement in KZN, we've got 4 different locations that can supply the need. So from a national perspective, I think that's the backbone, having a strong mothership, if I can put it like that, that whenever things is looking like it's running out, you've got a backup.
Cool.
And that helps us.
So not just a regional capacity, national capacity to support the demand or the need, which may be regional specific, depending on the trend of that period, is basically what you're saying.
100%. That's what national is helping us with.
Okay, lekker man. Then tell me, partnerships. How important is partnerships within a business? And I would say client, Youngman related and Youngman supplier related. What is your take on partnerships, and how important is it?
No, partnerships is very, very important. And again, coming back to the Lone Ranger, you know, you need customers, partnerships with customers where it's mutually beneficial. We help you grow, you help us grow, you know, and we're looking after each other. We've got each other's backs. And the same thing when it comes to our suppliers. If our suppliers don't back us, you know, then we're not going to make it. So at Youngman, that's one of the biggest things that we look at, is that partnerships. We've mentioned that in the beginning. You know, having good partnerships with our customers, having good partnerships with our suppliers, and without that, I think no company can stand.
Okay, cool. Now let's touch on a topic that people don't necessarily talk about. When we mess up, right? Because we are a business, there's things that happen that we can't control. We like to control the controllables, but when there's things that is outside of our control, how do we show up for the customer? Because that's what a partnership is, you know, thick and thin, you know. And so in the thin times, how do we support clients in that regard?
Yeah, so what you're saying is the truth. There is stuff that's out of your reach. You know, you might have a crane that broke down and all of a sudden you can't supply the need. And I've always said, bad news received early is good news. So what we do is, number one, we start the conversation. Mr. Client, we had a problem. You know, if you deal with these things preemptive. You know, it's way better than waiting until everybody is now last minute and everybody's now upset and now you got to do it. But then to be humble, you know, to apologize if it's a mistake from your side, and to show up and fix it. Everybody makes mistakes. The problem is not everybody fix the mistakes, you know, and not to get to a place of arrogance and making excuses for when you've done something wrong, but to get to that position in life where you say, well, listen, I've made a mistake. How can I solve it? How can I help you? And there we go out of our way, you know, if we've made a mistake, we will go out of our way to rectify it as soon as possible.
Excellent. Mistakes, the human side of things. What can you share with us with like the innovations, technical innovations, digital innovations that Youngman is introducing into the business to help reduce human error? Can you speak on Blitz Sales Portal? And
so one of your biggest problems is human error, as you've just said. And you'll get a customer that gives you a cutting list, and now that customer list, that cutting list now punched into the Blitz system by a representative. They can make a mistake, although, you know, they have measures in place to double check. But now that production in any other business that I've been in now goes on a works order out to the factory, and then that operator's got to repunch that into the system, which gives you a second opportunity for a mistake. With the Blitz, the customer can basically add his own cutting list into the system, and then that customer list cutting list becomes an order. It becomes a production on the computer. Nobody retypes it, so that takes a lot of that human error or possibility for human error out of the way. And the same thing with us. We fully online. Everything we cut is online. You know, with a normal system, you can have a mistake and then you haven't cut 3 sheets out of 110.
Yeah.
And now it's a big fight between us as a supplier and the customer. Well, did not get him stolen on site. And I've had these fights many times in my life. You know, are you sure it's us? Is it not you? With our system, you can literally track every single cut. And if it happens that there was a system error, the customer will tell you, and you look at that cutting report and you'll say, well, I see there was a problem on 3 of the cuts. Everything is documented, everything is there for people to have that transparency.
Yeah. Excellent.
Which is great.
Excellent. So what I'm basically hearing here is we understand what the constraints are in the market, we understand what the frustrations are in the market, we understand where the errors come in the market, and what Youngman has done is understanding all of those things is build a system to reduce and support the cycle of the industry from order all the way through to delivery. Is that a correct assumption?
100%. Even your deliveries can be tracked like Uber Eats. You can go on your portal and you can see where the truck is now, how many stops there's before it gets you. Once you've signed that, the POD gets generated automatically. So literally from placing the order to the end of the process where you receive your POD and the only thing left now is to pay, all of that is incorporated into this one system, easy for everybody to use.
Excellent. So tell me, Youngman Gauteng or Youngman in Gauteng is Youngman, how is Youngman being received? Would you say Youngman is new? Is Youngman unknown? What is the feeling around that?
So Youngman is well known all over the country. I remember in 2018 when I was still with another company, we started putting Youngman on the board as, look out, these guys are coming for you. And today I'm sitting on the other side and, well, we did come and we did overtake. So everybody has been knowing about Youngman, and Youngman has came into Gauteng through buying out another company which was well known, already have a huge footprint. So I would say it's new and not new. Where we are new is in the projects market. We only last year and a half, we've been really focusing on the projects market, and we've been getting traction in that market. But if you look at the whole package altogether, Youngman's been a well-known brand for many years now.
Excellent, thanks for that. I'll end off by asking you this question. We've spoken a lot. If there was one thing that I needed to ask that I didn't ask, what would that be? Is there anything else that we should know about Youngman Gauteng or Youngman Pretoria?
Youngman Pretoria is Youngman National. It's the same thing, but it's a whole different type of market that we've got here. A lot more opposition, a lot more chance takers coming into the market, and we've really got a good team on this side that knows this market and that's ready to bring Youngman Gauteng up to the standard of the rest of the group.
Excellent. I lied when I said this was the last question. You mentioned something there that just piqued my interest. What are the challenges? So this is now a little bit off topic, but same highway, different lane. Specifications and on-site. How does specifications on paper, how does that translate on-site? Are specifications following through to site, or can you share any context on that? Is that a problem in the industry in Gauteng? Is that something that we should talk about?
Yeah, so specifications inland, there's still a huge portion of the market that uses copy and paste, a copy and paste system that's been backdated to Noah's Ark probably. And with those jobs, there's a lot of changing specifications when it gets to the market. A lot of the contractors that worked with our profile wants to work with our profile, and they'll convince the customer to change. From another perspective, there is still a huge portion of the market that is specification, set to the specification, and we've got respect for that because, you know, there's a lot of work being done, and in that department we are spending a lot of our time currently to go to the market and show the people that we've done the tests through the proper systems. We've reached the highest wind uplift tests that can be achieved in the market currently, and we're spending a lot of time with people to get our specifications in there as well. We're already seeing that coming through, and it's coming through fast. But yes, there's still a big portion of the market that sticks to the spec, and again, as I said before, I respect that because we work hard on getting it there. And you know, at the end of the day, the end customer wants to see on his roof what was promised through the specification.
Excellent. So thank you for joining the conversation. I hope you've learned some things that was insightful. And yeah, until next time, thank you.